Well, good morning to everyone and a big welcome to you. We are back and this is the Global Connected Packaging Summit, day 2. Yesterday, we had a fantastic day. We were looking at innovation. We had Tetra Pak, Avery Dennison, ScanTrust, Fujifilm, Colgate, SID, and we talked a lot about innovation and the changes through connected packaging. Today is focusing on sustainability. That is our theme, and we're going to be looking at how to communicate sustainability, how connected packaging can support sustainability goals, credentials, and we're going to be looking at all the different ways that sustainability is really moving forward, both in packaging and connected packaging, and bringing those things together. As we know, connected packaging is the gateway to two-way communication with your consumers. It really gives the ability for your consumers to be able to interact and have that two-way conversation, but it also gives the opportunity for brands to understand who their consumers are, what their preferences are they male, are they female, what age group are they in, and really be able to understand and collect in a GDPR compliant way data around their consumers to be able to change their messaging and obviously then change the messaging to make much better positioning. I am very, very happy to have join with me today Rachel Sheldon, who is Sustainability and Innovation Manager at Greiner Packaging. But today we have a whole lineup, which I'm sure you've already seen. We're going to hear, of course, from Greiner, but also from Transcend Packaging, from Go Straw, from AB InBev, Elopak, Tetra Pak, and Garcia Carrion. So we have a fantastic full agenda for you. So I ask you to do stay tuned, but also it's a live session. So I do ask you and invite you to get involved and ask questions as we go through. We will try and answer all the questions that we can during the sessions, and the panelists will be able to answer any additional questions after. Yesterday was pretty fun-packed in terms of the questions. You just need to use the QA box and the chat box, which are down below. So whether you send it in the QA or whether you send it in the chat, we will be able to notice those, gather those, and ask our expert panelists to support us in answering your questions. So without further ado, I am going to welcome Rachel to our virtual stage. As I say, Rachel Sheldon is our Sustainability and Innovation Manager for UK and Ireland at Greiner Packaging. Big welcome to you, Rachel. Thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Hi, Jenny. Thanks for having me.
So I've been starting all of our sessions with our panelists by asking our panelists for an interesting fact that not many people know about you. Have you got something that you can tell us?
I hate it when you do this to me.
Love it.
Nothing really. I think I've said before, I come from where Robbie Williams is famous for, from Stoke-on-Trent. Not a whole pile goes on apart from, yeah, that's our claim to fame. So yeah, I've been at Greiner for a very long time. I've had 3 jobs in my life. So yes, yes, I'm
okay, that's pretty
member of the team.
That's pretty impressive. Great. Okay, well, thank you, Rachel. We're here obviously to talk about connected packaging. We heard lots of things yesterday around innovation, very much on the kind of technology side. Here, I think we can talk about innovation, but on the sustainability side. Greiner has K3 packaging. That whole concept has been continually improved over many, many years. I don't want to talk about that. You tell us about that. Tell us about K3 and the innovations and the continuous improvement there.
So K3 is the trade name for cardboard plastic combination within the Greiner portfolio. So we developed the K3 cup in the late 70s in our Swiss factory. And it's been really, really successful, and we've got the ability to supply it in the majority of our packaging sites now across Europe. Just to cardboard plastic combination, it's what it says. So it's a plastic in a cup, and then it's wrapped with a cardboard sleeve. And the great thing about it is you can get really nice high graphics on both sides, as well as keeping the integrity of the product. So it is a really, really good concept. it's great for sustainability. It really lends itself to sustainability. You can use different materials, you can use different boards. Yeah, it's a fantastic product. We were the first to bring it to the market. There's many out there that have copied it, but we are the first and the original, I think, with the best technology. We've also got a huge amount of tools as well off the shelf. So anybody who wants to take advantage of it, it's not a tooling outlay. We've got lots of sizes that you can take advantage of quite easily.
Tell me a bit about the sustainability part. So the whole concept of K3 has really been moving forward in terms of sustadanability. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, as I explained earlier, it's for me with the sustainability, and that's what my role is about. Everybody's working towards the circular economy and recycling. So because the two are separable, you get two mono materials. So it's a nice, clean, unprinted mono plastic, and then you've got your board as well. And the two easily separate. The inner cup can be made of a variety of materials. So polystyrene, not so popular in the UK. But in Central Europe, they're recycling polystyrene now. So that's really important for our colleagues in Central Europe. In the UK, PP is widely recyclable. But we've also produced these cups out of rPET, and we can put up to 100% post-consumer waste in there as well. So again, that just really helps with the recycling part of things. Also, because we're using the cardboard as the integral support, we can really reduce down, the plastic. So you can see that it's really lightweight because it's supported by the cardboard. As I say, and it's all about, for me, and we'll obviously talk about it with the connected packaging. It's just a fantastic way of, educating people on what you can do, and that's where I think it could really come onto its own with the K3 products. Because
you can actually print on both sides, correct?
Yeah, you can print on both sides. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Okay.
And so how does connected packaging come into this? So obviously this is a really great sustainable improvement, less plastic, being able to separate the two. Where does connected packaging come into it?
I think the best way that connected packaging can work is via the QR codes. So for example, if I just give you an example of, say, a noodle product. So on the outside of the cup, you can have a QR code, and talking about a fabulous promotion, or find out more about how this cup can be recycled, and then that's kind of a call to action for the consumer to say, you can even scan that when you're in the supermarket without purchasing, and you can start that collection of data and that awareness, even if they haven't bought the product. But the plan is buy the product. And then we can say to get the full experience, there's a QR code on the inside of the cardboard. So by default, the consumer's got to separate the two, to get the full experience. That can be connected to sustainability stories, where, like I say, where to recycle. And you've got a captive audience as well. I mean, especially like with a noodle product, it might be in the cupboard for a couple of weeks. Probably not my house with teenagers, but yeah, and you've got a captive audience that are going to see the product numerous times as well. So yeah, that's where I think it works really well with connected packaging.
But that's quite interesting, because there's actually two places in which you could have the QR code, correct? So you could have the QR code on the outside, that could be maybe talking about, as you say, sustainability, where this product comes from, maybe some sort of quiz, like you say. But then on the inside, inside is really for people who've purchased the product, because you're not likely to have somebody like taking no,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. And I think, like I say, we've developed the actual tear tab over the years. We've had lots of different formats, but ultimately, we want to encourage the consumers to separate the two. you know, and I think this is just another way of ensuring that consumers are doing that and actively promoting the separation of the two by incentivizing them with a QR code on the inside.
Mm-hmm. And that then allows for that kind of data in terms of who's purchased, who hasn't, being able to understand that consumer. I think that's super interesting in terms of being able to have that two areas. I think that there is often, you know, quite a lot of conversation from the consumers around how to recycle things. People like to recycle things, but they don't really know how. You know, we don't know which bucket to put it in. I think seems to be like one of the big reasons. So that inside information could really help with the education on where.
Yeah, and I think as well, you know, consumers are confused about packaging. You know, that's obvious. You know, I think, and you know, the demonization of plastic, you know, it's a way of educating as well, just on, you know, CO2 levels. I don't think people have got an understanding of actually what a great material plastic is in comparison to some others. You know, so I think it is, there is just the whole educational piece for me, as well as you say, you know, you're finding out who your consumers are, you know, not who you think they are, actually who they are, because, you know, they're giving you the data, they're telling you, and you can tailor made your products around what your consumers, who they are and what they actually want. So, you know, it's really important, you know, the data that you can get from these promotions.
How is Greiner taking it further? So that's K3. Is there more in the range? What's the...
Yeah, so we've just had a really exciting development. Hopefully people have seen it on LinkedIn and in the press, and we've won you know, a couple of awards for it as well. So this is basically, you know, it's an improvement on the standard K3 packaging, and this is R100. So basically what this means is it self-separates. So if the consumer doesn't pull the cardboard off, and it goes into the recycling stream, by default, once it gets squashed, it actually self-separates. So that's the most exciting development we've had for a few years in K3. Yeah, so that's great. We've been doing more on the tear tabs as well, because obviously not all products will go through that rigorous separation process. So we've got some really nice new tear tabs where it's actually got a cutout as well. So it's intuitive. It makes people think, you know, what's that, and take it off as well. So yeah, we've got lots of stuff in the pipeline as well. So watch this space.
Excellent. Well, you know, I think the cutout piece just makes people want to pick at it, right? So what is this? And then they kind of find out. So I think that's really great. What about bringing it back to connected packaging again? You know, it's already a reality for many businesses. We heard about lots of case studies yesterday. There was a fantastic survey that said over 50% of FMCG CMOs are thinking about connected packaging or have already included it in their marketing plans for 22 and beyond. What are you seeing? What are you seeing at Greiner?
I think, yeah, lots of interest. People are interested in it. I think maybe what kind of, you know, when we've been speaking for a long time now, Jenny, but I think when you first hear what is connected packaging, I think it was like, what is connected packaging? And I think now people and brands are recognizing it as as the big brands are using it as, you know, people know what it is. You know, it's out there, you know, with the QR codes now they've developed, especially since COVID, everybody knows what a QR code is. I think, you know, pre-COVID, people were, what's a QR code, especially, you know, scanning on your phone and stuff. So I think that whole development of what a QR code is has been instrumental to this. You know, I think maybe what kind of customers think is it's a bit confusing. You know, how do I set it up? How do I go about it? What's the you know, the computer programs we need to have behind it? And I think, you know, and people also think that it's really costly, which it doesn't have to be, you know. So I think they are the main challenges. And I think obviously working with yourselves, it's very straightforward, and, you know, you're a great support within the process with your customers when you know, putting, you know, data together and presentations. So yeah, I think there's just still a bit of, you know, brands are a little bit scared, or they don't know how to go about it. Mm-hmm. You know, I often see on packs, you know, not just our products, but other packs, you know, in the marketplace, where they've got this fantastic promotional win a holiday, and then you look at the actual dynamics of what you need to do to actually even enter, you know, and it's, you know, send a receipt or call a number or register on a website, you know, and it's just, I think that's, with having the experience of what connected packaging is, straight away you just think you could be doing this so much better, you know. It's very targeted, you know, so yeah.
No, definitely. And I think there's a couple of things there you said that made a lot of sense. First of all, yeah, our first conversation, I remember, you know, the clients probably spent about 10 minutes saying, well, how does that actually work? How do we make sure that the consumer has access to this and the download and all that kind of stuff? And yes, that education piece now, I think, has definitely changed. And I can see that in meetings that we have now. It's much more about, oh, well, what could I do? What would be the best thing? How could I make that happen? How can I use that to the best way? Which then kind of takes us to what you're saying there, really, which is, you know, competitions. It's a much easier dynamic to be able to manage it, but also to help the users to be able to enter. You know, I remember seeing something, I think it was last summer, on a crisp brand. I won't name any brands, and it was just so difficult to be able to actually enter. And then you had to go to this website, and then you had to scan this, and then you had to send this receipt. And in the end, I think, you know, people are just going to give up. So definitely, I think that's a really important piece. But also, yeah, just being able to really understand the objectives of what the brand wants to do. Is it about, you know, collecting information around who their audience are, or is it about telling them that they're using K3 because it's a much better sustainable product? Is it about telling them how to do the recycling? All of those different things. So there's a lot of conversations.
And I think as well, thinking about it, you know, a lot of brands, including us, and, you know, you go to this big expense for sustainability stories, you know, and they are generally just put on a website or social media shares, you know, that, and it's a way of connecting as well your product to your sustainability message. You know, you could basically, through that QR code, pull up all of your, you know, corporate social responsibility and what your plans are with sustainability. So there's a link as well from, you know, your advertising that's going on in the background as well, connecting it to your product with your sustainability message.
Yeah, even if you did serialized QR codes, you can actually do like loyalty card programs where you can plant a tree. So for every 4 products, 5 products, whatever, the brand will actually plant a tree for you or something like that. So, you know, being able to really kind of bring that in, like you say, there's so much conversation, I think, around sustainability and credentials. I think this is an opportunity for brands to involve the consumers into it rather than just talk at them, which is something that a lot of brands do. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think there's any particular industry vertical, obviously in the food and drink industry where you're in at the moment, that's more going to find more use out of connected packaging? Is there any particular vertical that you see more than others?
Not necessarily. I think that there's a place for connected packaging within all brands. I really do. You know, I think as you say, sustainability's at the forefront, you know, of everybody's conversation, you know, and it's a fantastic medium to speak directly, as I say, to your consumers. You know, like I say, I'm just, you know, we on a daily basis, you see the QR codes on on big brands. And I just really do believe in it. And the nice thing about it as well for me is you can change it up as well regularly, so there might be a focus on, plastic in the ocean, or there might be a focus on, carbon footprint, or where to recycle, or some different legislation that's going out there, and you could chop and change between as well. So it is versatile, how the message that you can get across as well. But I think it works for all packaging. It's not just yogurt cups, noodle packs. It can be put on the shampoo bottles that we produce, or the laundry tablet boxes that we produce. It lends itself very, very well to K3 just for the fact that it's two separate components. But I think we'll just be seeing it on every varieties of packaging mediums.
Yeah, like you say, like if you were going to put it on shampoo, it could be how to use, or what's the right shampoo for you. Laundry tablets, how many for particular things, or stain removal or whatever, so quite informational. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so.
Oh, you're just agreeing. No, I thought I was all good. Yeah, so there's definitely a whole range. Personally, I can't see a particular industry more than others, just that there's different types of experiences, or different, is it a quiz, is it a game, is it a raffle, is it sustainability messaging? And as you say, you can change it up, but you could change it up through the marketing. So you could have like a Christmas campaign during the Christmas months, and the same QR code could then lead to Easter promotional material in the Easter time. So yeah, I think it's got that dynamic element to it as well.
Yeah.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner for Greiner?
Oh, so what's around the corner? Yeah, there's plenty going on. We've got lots of new products in development, lots of investment going into the business as well. We've just invested heavily in the UK site into a big PET extrusion and decontamination unit, so as we can take in flake that's actually contaminated and put it through the process and take out the nasties and then produce. So that's really exciting. Yeah, connected packaging is definitely on the radar. So again, watch this space. And I just think, if anybody's got any questions, and wants to talk about, it's sustainability is a bit of a black art for some, and it's a constant learning process. Daily I'm learning something new, and I think carbon CO2 emissions is the main focus at the moment, and maybe where the market's going to go instead of post-consumer waste. So reach out to us if you want to have a chat. Happy to do that. Yeah, and come and see all our lovely products, and yeah, watch the space. Connected packaging, definitely.
Thank you, Rachel. I mean, we're coming to the end of the session, but what if there was one particular message that you'd want people to take away, either about K3 or about connected packaging? What would that be?
I think the main thing for me working in the plastic industry is we've got to educate and find a way to produce this circular model. We've got to, and I think we've got some amazing materials. Plastic isn't the enemy. It's very, very useful and absolutely essential in my opinion for the future of this planet. It just needs to be used properly and sustainably, and the education needs to be there. So this is a fantastic way of educating your customers on what to do and how to be responsible. I mean, ultimately, we're all trying to get to the end goal where, we've got sustainable products, packaging, for the future of the planet. So, I just think for me, it's just such a great opportunity to tell people what they should be doing, because there's just so much confusion out there with consumers. So yeah,
that's a really strong message. So there's solutions out there that will help you with your sustainable packaging, and also Greiner's thought about the way that connected packaging can really be integrated, so you can help reinforce that messaging by actually having QR codes on the outside and the inside of the packaging, and help with the recycling levels as well. Thank you so much, Rachel. Great to have you here. Again, any of the audience who want to follow up with Rachel or have any other questions, then please do send them away. Coming up next, we have got some fantastic panelists for you who are going to be talking about changing the conversation. The session is going to be on digital packaging and its benefits post-COVID. And I will be joined by Matt Ward, who is Print and Digital Division Director at Transcend Packaging. Also Chloe Morel, who is Marketing Manager at Tetra Pak France. And Gabor Vass, who is CEO at Go Straw Limited. It's going to be a fantastic panel with people from different parts of the world really being able to understand where we are with digital packaging and its benefits post-COVID. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break now, and we'll see you back very, very shortly. Thanks again, Rachel.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.